I'm Dylan Black. He joins us on the show one more time. He is the ghostwriter, author, and he's been up to some pretty cool things. With us right now is Jon Hansen. Hello, Jon.
You know, it's great to be back. It's just great to talk about anything. I could talk about the weather with you. How about that weather last week?
Let's not talk about the weather. Let's talk about all the amazing things that you've got going on. So I introduced you as the ghostwriter, author, and for those who maybe are finding out about you for the first time here, what does a ghostwriter, author do?
Well, you know, as I alluded to the last time, people hire us, hire me, to write either speeches or books or articles. And I write for men and women the world over. And they have a story idea, or they have a story they want to tell, and they want to share it. But they may not have the writing capability. That's where I come along. So I ghostwrite. Now, I remember the last time I talked, my son said to me, how do you feel when you write a book? And I've written 5 in the last couple of years. How do you feel when you write a book and it does well and no one knows it's you? It's somebody else's name. And I said, I don't need to have the fame. I'm happy to just be in the background, just writing and toiling away.
That's because you're a modest fella.
Yeah, that must be it, hey?
Okay, so you're here because not only are you a writer, you've been interviewing some pretty amazing people as well. Can you tell me about Activate Digital 2018? So this took place, and what was it all about?
Well, at the end of April, or at the end of February rather, it took place in Guelph, Ontario. And Activate Digital 2018 was an event sponsored by Longview Systems, and it brought together what we would call the thought leaders or leading thinkers from the high-tech world to talk about digital transformation in Canada, what it means, and what it not only means in terms of the impact on us, but also in terms of our economic development. And so we had people there for the first time, Kevin Piesker, the new president of Microsoft Canada, John Dathan, who heads up Hewlett-Packard Enterprises. So we had all these people coming together, including the mayor of Guelph, Cam Guthrie, talking about what does digital mean? And I mean, it's permeated all areas of our life. If you think about it, the Google Home, the smart cars, all of these things. That's how much we know about it, generally speaking. It touches our lives. But what does it mean in terms of our economic well-being as a country and our advancement? In fact, one of the reasons it was held in Guelph is it's in that southwestern Ontario belt that's being called the new, what you can call, I guess, Silicon Valley of the North, or the emerging Silicon Valley of the North.
Okay. So what does Silicon Valley mean for those who are not maybe up to snuff on this topic?
Well, Silicon Valley is like, if you think of Apple, if you think the early heydays of the computer revolution that changed everything, the PC, Microsoft, all those organizations, Silicon Valley is a place in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Northern California, where this tech revolution that we're now experiencing first began. And the reason why they're calling it the Silicon Valley of the North is we're now moving into a new phase, which includes artificial intelligence. I mean, you've heard of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about AI. That's right. See, you're up on the buzz terminology.
Sure
think of it this way. You see the cars that drive automatically, without you, automatic cars. You look again around your home and Google and all those facets that impact our daily lives. That's where this new Silicon Valley North is coming to play. It's the creativity. It's the emergence of what will be the next tech revolution.
Okay. Can you tell us about the growing talent gap as well? And women have a large role to play, which is great.
Well, it's an interesting thing, but, there's a statistic that came out, McKinsey, and I think Kevin Piesker talked about it when I interviewed him as well. See, I got to sit on your side of the table that time, which was all right. But what he talked about, the fact is that a study came out saying that there is a shortage, or a job gap or shortage, between what is needed to make the digital revolution happen and the talent that's in place. And it's about 236,000 and growing, the number. Women have a particularly important role to play. In fact, he said that without women entering the STEM fields, and STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math, focusing more on high technology, it won't happen. Digital evolution won't happen, or transformation, as he calls it. And that's a problem because our economy is driven by our ability to elevate ourselves in this area, not only domestically, but on a global standpoint. So we need to bring more people in, young people with aspirations, and not just creating new ideas, but being able to follow through and making them a reality. And we need more women in positions of responsibility. Microsoft talked about the fact that 75% of Kevin Piesker's executive staff is made up of women. But that's the exception to the rule. We need more women in the field. Otherwise, we're not going to realize our full potential. And ultimately, that'll trickle down and affect everybody.
You actually, so your role is pretty impressive here. I mean, how did you get, sort of behind the scenes, how did you get to get these interviews with these leaders? Well,
you have a reputation in the industry. Like as a ghostwriter, I've been writing for a long time. I've been in the high-tech field since 1983, or involved in various capacities. So what's happened is you get knowing. And almost like getting a referral for a ghostwriter where somebody says, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Not, you know, Bobby the coffee guy was here, so they know a guy for coffee.
Okay.
When it comes to technology and understanding the evolution of that, people call on me. And that's how I got into being asked to do the interviews.
Mm-hmm. Why is digital revolution different now than past innovations of technological advancement that's been taking place?
Well, you know, I think it's because it's again, permeating all areas of our society. Everything's becoming automated now. And so it's touching all of our lives more so. I mean, when the PC first came out, I mean, it was sitting on the desktop. You're waiting for a spreadsheet program to come in. It was more or less seen as an office tool, or perhaps in schools as it evolved. But in reality, this has far more reaching impact because it's extended beyond the industry itself to affect not only the way we live, but also in how we earn money, how we interact with each other. I mean, look at kids today. I mean, they all have cell phones, they have tablets, they all communicate that way. You know, I used to play stickball until 10 o'clock in the night until my mother had to hunt me down. So, I mean, it's pervasiveness is the key, and it's replacing a lot of the traditional industries that have driven our economy.
All right, we got to wrap things up here, but how many interviews did you do in total?
Did 8 in an 8-hour period.
Wow.
I was tired. Well, you can appreciate that.
I can imagine. Hey, I just did 7 in a 1-hour period, so I beat you there.
I need a nap. Well, that's good. That's true.
I hate to cut you off, man, but I know longviewsystems.com/activate digital is the place to go.
That's the place to go, and you can watch the interviews through that link as well.
Thank you very much, Jon Hansen, the ghostwriter author, for being here today.
Dylan, always a pleasure.
Take care, everybody.